Hello, this is Dr. Janice SETO. I'm an instructor for this course in Media Arts in beautiful, sunny Subang Jaya in Malaysia. It's Taylor's College, and I'm pleased to be part of the Canadian Pre-University program. This video is about film techniques, and this will be very helpful for you as you study media arts and then you produce work of your own. So let's get started and take a look at what we're doing today in techniques. We're looking at the use of the camera in capturing images and basically what it looks like in each frame. And so what you have to do is you look at the setting and the characters and also the themes, and all of these together, these different shots, will convey the message of the creator, whether it's the director, the screenplay writer, etc. So it's very important when you're doing your own to explore what the power of different shots are. And basically there's 5, and as you can see they're on the screen, and I'm hoping that we could show you examples of them from award-winning pictures. Let's take a look at the first one, which is called the extreme long shot. And what it is it's an establishing shot, which often is an overview of what the setting is like, and so conveys without saying much where we are. And so as you can see, it's often exterior, and this is one of the very famous shots here. It's from a movie called Lawrence of Arabia, which won Oscars. And this is a very famous scene. It's probably one of the most famous scenes in which a character is introduced. Omar Sharif, the Egyptian actor who recently passed away, this is him on horseback, and he appears on the scene, and I think it's within the first half an hour of the film Lawrence of Arabia. I don't actually have a copy of Lawrence of Arabia, but I could show you a little bit from the trailer, so please hold on, and I'll show you the trailer from the restoration publicity. Please hold. This film Lawrence of Arabia won an Oscar, won a series of Oscars, including Best Picture and of course Best Director with David Lean. And let me see if I can get this to play. So here it is, as I mentioned, Omar Sharif. And when the scene opens, he appears as this little dot, and he emerges as a man on horseback. So let's see if we can show that. And here he is. And that's Peter O'Toole, who played the character of Lawrence of Arabia, as you can see right there. This is filmed in Jordan, and a lot of the beautiful desert landscapes, as you can see from here, was filmed at a place called Wadi Rum. I would encourage you, if you have time to watch Lawrence of Arabia, watch it on the big screen, in the dark, with some popcorn. It's a long movie, so make sure it's a big bag of popcorn. Now let's go into another shot. Please hold. Now a long shot is different from the extreme long shot in that from an extreme long shot, sometimes you can't see exactly what it is that the director wants you to see. You have to give it time for it to unveil itself. Whereas a long shot, really, there's no question where it is, and it's more of a matter of establishing what's going on. Here, this is from the award-winning movie Apocalypse Now, directed by Francis Ford Coppola, and this is the character played by Robert Duvall. Robert Duvall, another very fine Oscar-winning actor. He's been in The Godfather, he's been in The Conversation, and Tender Mercies, The Great Santini. I mean, he's just a wonderful actor. If you could have the pleasure of watching it in a movie theater, as I say, with no interruptions, that would be very much a treat. Let me see if I can now advance. So you've seen the extreme long shot, and the long shot is like life size. Then we look at the more, what they call the medium shot, the mid shot, and as I say, it's more, you often see this in dialogue, and so there's usually 2 people there. And this is another movie. This is directed by Oscar-winning director James Cameron. James Cameron, you probably know him more as the director of Avatar and Titanic, and actually he's a Canadian as well. He and his family, they actually bought a vineyard in British Columbia, not not too far from Vancouver, Victoria. And so yes, he doesn't do many films, but what he does, he tries to make very popular and a blockbuster. His first one was Terminator, which you may have heard of. And let me see if I could show you a movie in which it shows basically a long shot and then segues into mid shot. Let me just cue that up for you now. And here we are. This is from an Oscar-winning picture called Gigi. I think it won 9 Oscars. So here it is. It's a long shot in which you see the protagonist. That's Gaston. He's in Paris, and he's in front of this beautiful fountain. I think it's Place de la Concorde. And so you go from this long shot where he's in front of the fountain, and then the camera closes in, and it becomes more of a mid shot. So you see him now from the waist up. And then, so getting very, very close. So now we're tracking where he's going. He's resolute. He's made a decision about what he wants to do with his life. And let me just see if I can move this up a bit. Yes. So now what we're going to be doing is he's heading. He's made a decision about what he wants to do, and now he's tall and very resolute in doing that. So it's tracking him mid shot, up the stairs, and he's you can tell it's still night, the way the scene is lit, but now you see his face, whereas before you saw him standing in front of a fountain, thinking. It's like the dark night of the soul. And then here we are, the other protagonist, that lady there, Gigi. After she's the protagonist of the film, and the film is called Gigi. And so now you can see it's a slight bit of a long shot, but it's more of a middle shot, and so you can see that they're having a conversation. And it's a very short conversation. This scene ends very, very quickly. But I thought I would just show you how tight it is, the mid shot. So, and then of course you have mid shot with Leslie Caron, the French actress who plays Gigi, and there you see basically the rapport between the two of them, Gigi and Gaston. And Louis Jourdan, he passed away just, I think, earlier this year, so we lost another great in cinema. Okay, now let me see if I can go to the next slide. Let me just pause this for a second. Okay, I've paused this and just brought you back to the scene. This is what cinematography is all about. You see that it's lit from the back, and it's very, very blue, and it has just the marvelous effect of highlight. Now Gaston, as you can see, he's formally dressed, and he's got his walking stick and his hat, and but you could see it's him. The way that this scene has been carefully lit, you could see a little bit of the white of his shirt, and so no wonder Gigi won Best Cinematography Oscar in 1958. And so we just saw their mid shots. Now let's go to the next slide, and the next slide goes to the close-up. So what it is the close-up. What is it a close-up of? It's the character's face, and from that, it can be very eerie when you just see somebody's face that close, and it's on a huge screen. So you can't help but really be really identifying with the actor. And that's an intentional part, an intentional choice made by the director, so that this is somebody that you really want to feel, almost getting into their head, and that's the close-up shot. Now we go even closer with the extreme close-up shot, and from the extreme close-up shot, we're going to be seeing, let's see, here we are, just part of the face, and that really gets in your face. Probably one of the most famous examples in film is this movie. It's called The Passion of Joan of Arc. It is a silent movie by the Danish director Carl Dreyer. And this lady, this was her first film. She was an Italian stage actress, Maria Falconetti. And I'm not sure if she did any films after that. Maybe she did, but she wasn't well known. But this one is the one that she's most well known for. Even now, the fact that it's a silent movie shouldn't put you off. It is something that anybody who's a student of film watches. And so I highly recommend that you do watch it without, as I say, distraction. Watch it in a big screen. The TV screen is just too small to give you that certain effect that you would have felt if you were in the 1920s and watching it on the big screen. Now, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you some clips. One clip from a movie in which you do see a close-up, and it's a little bit of an extreme close-up. It's not as intense. So let me just cue that up. And this is from the movie Vertigo. This is an establishing shot with the exterior of a restaurant called Ernie's in San Francisco. And this movie Vertigo was pretty well entirely shot in San Francisco. Interiors, some of them were shot in Hollywood sound stages, but Alfred Hitchcock really liked San Francisco and spent as much time shooting Vertigo there. Now, as you can see, you come in from a close-up of James Stewart's face. If this is one unbroken take, so you can draw back from his face and then going across the dining room at Ernie's. And so then what you're doing, they're zooming in. Now notice who it is that they're zooming in on. Notice the different colors of people. It's more muted or pale or grays, etc. And then you see this green, which is an emerald green, which really is striking. And here we are at Ernie's, which is very, very red. If you really want to contrast, you put green right next to red. So here we are. You saw a profile of James Stewart's face, and by being so close, you could see he's a bit anxious. And so now this is the actress Kim Novak, and now what you get here is you get a close-up of her face. Here it's a little bit extreme close-up of James Stewart because you see it's cut off, and so that sort of gives you an indication of him being slightly discombobulated. And so that's the scene from Vertigo. It's another famous introduction of character scene, and of Kim Novak and playing Madeline. And so now let's just go over again. There are 5 camera shots: extreme, long shot, mid close-up, and then the extreme close-up. It's a very famous movie. Famous line from the famous movie called Sunset Boulevard. And I'm ready for my close-up, Mr. DeMille. Cecil B. DeMille, the famous director. Silence, and then in the 30s and the 40s, a big spectacle. And the actress Gloria Swanson. She's ready for a close-up, but you can see this is not a close-up. This is actually a mid shot. And this is from the end of the movie. I hope that you get a chance to watch Sunset Boulevard. Again, it's another movie that's nominated for lots and lots of Oscars. So this is the end of the video, the first part of film techniques. We looked at cameras, and now there's a preview for the next video that's about camera shots and then angles. And so we've got quite a few that we could go into when we come back. So let me just end this PowerPoint right now. Thank you very much for your attention. I hope you've learned a little bit about film techniques, especially about camera shots, and you can incorporate it into your projects. And I hope that when you watch film, then you're a little bit more discerning, because now you know a little bit about the language of film. Take care, and have a great day. We'll see you at the movies.